Code of honor. This is what we're going to talk about. And I want to give two movie examples because if you like me, you like watching movies that depict like essence and truth, and you get to see it acted out. It's powerful. I like that. So, first movie's The Covenant, and it's with Jake, and I can't say his last name, but it's about him and during that Afghanistan war, where there were these interpreters, right? And so it was him and the interpreter, and they got in trouble. They got ambushed, and it was just them two. And then Jake got shot, and this Muslim could have easily left him, go back home, and he had a family. So you can't use that as an excuse. Oh, this is what the mind does. I had a friend recently. You know what? I had to tell him. I've known him for 30 years. And it was a certain situation. I told him, I said, you know what, man? I said, if it came down right to it in a real situation where somebody that you say is your friend, you wouldn't be there. You would make a bunch of excuses and lie to yourself and say, oh, I did the best I could do, but I just couldn't do anything else. And then the people convinced themselves of that. That's why I say watch this movie. If you've seen this movie, I told him to see it too. I said you'd be like Jake. You'd make one phone call if I was stuck in Afghanistan or something. I didn't have a passport. You'd make one phone call to the embassy and say, "Look, I'm trying to help my friend. Can you give him a passport?" "No, I can't." "Oh, okay. Well, I tried." This is what the average person does. They got no real backbone. They don't have any deep code of honor that just activates, and you can't sleep. You can't sleep if you don't honor this. This is what happened. Go see also, what was the black movie? Black Panthers. Go see that. The main Black Panther guy, his right-hand man ended up betraying him. Why? Because the cops came and the cops manipulated him. Said, "Look, if you don't help us catch him, we're going to put you in jail." And so then he helps the cops. And then after the movie, he ends up getting him killed. He actually, because the cops, there's always another thing to do. Like he would do his job for the cops, and then he'd say, "Okay, I'm free." No, we have another job. Finally, the last job was to kill his leader. And so then I wanted to know what happened to this guy after. I've talked about this in an older video that I made on masculinity, but it's been a year, so I have new people watching, so I'm sharing it again. I wanted to know what happened to the guy that betrayed the main leader of Black Panthers, because I knew he couldn't live with himself. And so then I was searching on Google, and I found they did an interview. He did an interview like a long time after the incident. And still, after 15, 20 years, he's justifying in his mind. He's like, well, you got to understand my position. I didn't have any choice. I had a family, and if they were going to lock me up and all this. There's always justification. That's the thing. Always justification. So, but you know what? He ended up killing himself because he couldn't live with this. This hook that's inside him. And this is what the movie The Covenant talks about. Jake used that word, the hook. Okay, so just briefly, in case you haven't seen it, I don't want to give it away, but at the same time, I got to reference it to some degree in the video to make sense of what I'm talking about, because we're talking about a real masculinity is code of honor. So the Jake and his translator, they got ambushed, lost their whole team, and it was just Jake and the translator left. And like I said, the translator could have, this is his town, his home. He could have easily left. Jake got shot. Why would the translator sit there and help him? Like, just let him be. I'm going to go home and be with my family. Sorry. I don't like you Americans anyway. You guys, everything you say is a lie. All the best justification in the world he could have used. But this Muslim had code of honor. He says, "No, we were together in this war. He's shot. I'm gonna try to get him to safety. I can't just leave him." And then it shows the trials and tribulations that he had to go through. He's carrying this guy like up mountains and just trying to, getting attacked all the time because the Muslims are looking for them. He gets them to safety. Jake, the white guy, American, ends up going back home. The Muslims still on the run. Now all the Muslims are looking for him because they know that he helped this guy get away. So look, now I'm not getting some comments about I'm talking bad about the Muslims. Look, there's bad people in every religion. It doesn't matter. There's bad Christians and Muslims and Buddhists. Like, I'm talking about people. I'm talking about low-level people. I'm not saying low-level people are Muslims. I'm saying the planet's full of low-level people. It doesn't matter what you are or not. That's what I'm saying. But I'm referencing the word Muslim. I always got to throw in all these disclaimers. And even then it doesn't work. People still get sensitive. But I'm using the word Muslim to reference what I'm talking about in the movie so that I can paint a clear picture and get my point across. All right? So the Muslims that are not good, they're looking for the good Muslim because the bad Muslims feel like the good Muslim betrayed him because he helped the American. And so the good Muslim has to leave his house and shift his family every few weeks because like they find his spot, like he's living in hell. He's like really fighting for his life. White guy's chilling, man. He's back in America with his wife and kids and everything. But this guy was different. He couldn't just chill. He started drinking. He's trying to suppress the guilt that he's feeling over, like he owes this guy, code of honor. He owes him. And he's calling the embassy. He's like, look, you need to get this guy out of here, man. So I'm sorry, we can't do anything. Finally, he decides to go get him himself. Strong. And he goes and talks to his commander that used to command his unit. He says, look, I'm going to go get this guy. I need you to produce a passport for him. Commander says, man, I can't do that. My hands are tied. I can't mess with Washington. He says, listen to me. I'm going to go get him. And I trust that you're going to do this because I know that you're a good man or something like that. So I'm going. You see, another example that the average person wouldn't even get to that place anyway of getting ready to go. But then when the commander's telling you that he's not going to give a passport to help with your mission, then for sure the average person would leave. But this guy says no. He had to go and help this guy. Before he left, though, he told his wife, you want a girl like this, by the way. I know it's a movie, but you want a girl like this. He told his wife, he says, look, I know that you're very happy because this guy saved my life. He says, but this left a hook in me that's actually worse than if I would have died out there. He says, I need to go take care of this guy. I gotta honor this because I'm burning from the inside out. This is why people kill themselves too. In those situations, like the guy that set up the Black Panther guy, he couldn't live with himself. He couldn't just come out and say, look, I set him up. I was, at that time, I was just overtaken by fear. I'm responsible for getting not only the leader killed, but a bunch of people killed. I'm willing to face that. I want to face that. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I was totally lost. What can I do to make amends? And then spend the rest of his life making amends for that. And then he would have had a clean death. Whereas this guy, he committed suicide and he didn't learn the lesson here. So now he's going to have to learn it on some of these other planes. This is the way a law of karma works. It doesn't matter. If one believes in it, it's just, it is what it is. It's like saying, it's like the sun shines, period. There could be a guy in a cave who says, I don't believe in the sun. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, the sun's there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need your belief to believe in it. This is why it's important to honor your principle. Universal principles, honor that. That comes ahead of societal laws. Universal laws supersede societal laws. So this guy was telling his wife, he says, man, I got a hook inside me and it's just destroying me. I need to go help my friend. And you know what his wife said? Now, see, these are strong. They're playing strong parts, these characters. The average guy wouldn't do what he's doing, and the average girl wouldn't respond like this. The average girl would just be like, whoa, but what about me, me, me? Yeah, honey, but what about my friend? I don't know, like it's a terrible situation, but like if you leave and die, what about me? This is how the average mainstream woman thinks. So the wife said, he says, you go get him. Go get your friend, man. And you come back. I'll be here. See? So now he's really ready to go. And then he went. And then I won't say anything more after that. You can go see the movie. But this is definition of man. It wouldn't matter if he's honoring that principle. It wouldn't matter if he had a straw in his mouth and he couldn't do anything. If that principle was alive, that's man. That's masculine energy. The other movie, Return to Paradise, I think it's called, with Vince Vaughn and Joaquin Phoenix. This is maybe, I don't know how old, 20 years? The Covenant, that's only a couple years old. But Return to Paradise is about 20 years old. Joaquin Phoenix and the other guy I just mentioned, Vince Vaughn, they go to Malaysia. Yeah, I lived all over in Asia. You don't want to mess with drugs in Asia. They'll kill you. They just will. They don't mess around. So they were trying to smuggle some hash back to the U.S. And Vince Vaughn left first. He got out okay, but then they captured Joaquin Phoenix. And they got him in prison, and they're going to hang him. They're going to kill him. And then Vince Vaughn finds out about it because Joaquin's sister she knows about what's happening with Joaquin because she's his sister, and then she goes and talks to Vince Vaughn. I'm going to share something else about the woman's nature in this example, but just one second. So, to put it simply, if Vince Vaughn returned to Malaysia to share the responsibility of this drug smuggling charge, there was a chance that maybe Joaquin Phoenix wouldn't have got hanged. There was a chance to save his life, but there was also the guarantee that Vince Vaughn was also going to go to prison because, that's just how it works. Another strong decision. What would you do? What would you do? And then, so that's the masculine point that I want to make. But now with the girl, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix's sister found Vince Vaughn. They didn't really know each other much before then. She starts acting like she likes him and stuff. Gets him softened up, and then drops the bomb and said, "Look, I'm Joaquin Phoenix's sister. This is a situation. If you go back, maybe you can help him." And I remember there was a scene, Vince Vaughn got mad. He said, "You're just using me to get me to go do that." He says, "I would have done that anyway. I didn't need you to, seduce me and all that." She said, no, I really like you. Maybe she did. I don't know. What I'm saying, though, is this goes back into some videos I made a little bit ago about the female nature. The average woman is super conditioned to love you based on meeting her needs. And if she has a super, super strong need, whatever that is, save her brother or get her money or help her family that's dying, and you fit that bill, that description, she's going to authentically feel like she loves you. Her love is tied up into these conditions. She's wired that way. That's why I said before, it's not totally premeditated. It's not her fault. I used to have that problem when I was in relationships. I would sense their motives weren't pure with some of the women I was with, and I'm like, yeah, you say you love me, but you love me. It also has to do with because this is what I'm doing for you, whatever that was. And they would deny it. Or sometimes they would just shut down. They don't know how to process it. There's very few human beings that transcend this biological nature. Very few women who transcend this conditional love, and very few men who live by the code of honor in these two examples I just gave. So it's a great contemplative question. I like to contemplate that question. What would I do in that situation? Obviously, we don't know till the moment arises, but contemplating that question can get you in touch with your masculinity, and it can make some things clear. We're working for God. We're not working. What does it mean? It means we're working for our highest nature, our highest values. Most people's highest values, they're asleep. They're not even aware of it. They don't even know what I'm talking about. I made this video. If I was to show to 8 billion people on the planet, most wouldn't even know what is he babbling about? Because there's no space. Those channels in them aren't open. They can't receive this. They don't know. They're like the average walking zombie who just works, makes money, gets married, has sex, gets drunk, dies. This is what they do. It's like they just graduated from the animal kingdom. They're just getting used to what it feels like to have a body. So obviously I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to those who these spiritual sanskaras, these dormant tendencies, they're ready to sprout in you. You just need a little fertilizer. So these videos are the fertilizer for those beings who are on the cusp of really waking up to their true nature. Yeah, this is who I'm talking to. Let me know how you like this video. I liked it because I like movies and I like the principles that these movies are pointing to, and I like sharing it. That's why I like it. All right, see you.